The Saturday morning sun bathed the neighborhood in warm golden light as families filled the local community park for its annual charity festival. Children laughed near colorful balloons, food trucks lined the sidewalks, and a temporary stage hosted music that echoed across the crowd. In the middle of the celebration, hundreds of people suddenly fell silent. A confident martial arts instructor wearing a black belt stepped into an open demonstration ring, pointed toward an ordinary-looking man standing beside his young daughter, and publicly challenged him to a fight. The crowd expected the quiet father to back away in embarrassment. They had no idea that beneath his calm smile stood a former Navy SEAL who had spent years surviving battles far more dangerous than anything inside that ring. But what truly changed everyone's lives that afternoon wasn't the fight. It was the decision one broken father made after winning it. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, courage, and second chances still matter, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire so you never miss another emotional journey. The quiet father was Gideon Hale, a 41-year-old construction estimator who lived a simple life with his 10-year-old daughter, Tessa. Few people knew that before becoming a father, Gideon had served nearly 12 years as a Navy SEAL. During those years he learned discipline, sacrifice, and the painful reality that true strength meant protecting others instead of proving yourself. After surviving multiple combat deployments, he returned home believing life would finally become peaceful. Instead, he discovered that some of the hardest battles waited behind his own front door. His marriage slowly unraveled after years of emotional distance created by long deployments. Gideon accepted responsibility for the moments he missed, the birthdays celebrated through video calls, and the nights when duty kept emotions away from his family. He believed love required honesty, patience, and forgiveness. Unfortunately, not every relationship survives even when one person gives everything. His wife, Vanessa, eventually grew close to Ronan Cross, a charismatic martial arts instructor who owned one of the city's most successful self-defense academies. Ronan possessed confidence that attracted attention wherever he went. He proudly displayed tournament trophies, social media followers, and championship belts earned through years of competition. Many admired his skill. Few recognized how pride had quietly become part of his identity. After the divorce, Gideon never spoke badly about Vanessa in front of Tessa. He believed children should never carry the weight of adult mistakes. Every exchange during shared custody remained respectful despite the hurt still resting inside his heart. His only priority was giving Tessa a childhood filled with stability rather than conflict. Months later the community festival arrived. Tessa had excitedly signed up for a children's obstacle course while Vanessa attended alongside Ronan. Gideon hoped the day would remain peaceful. He wanted his daughter to remember sunshine, laughter, and cotton candy, not arguments between adults. As the Martial Arts Academy began its public demonstration, Ronan noticed Gideon standing quietly among the spectators. Wanting to impress both the audience and Vanessa, he began making playful remarks about courage, strength, and real men defending their honor. Eventually those comments became direct challenges aimed at Gideon. Many people expected anger. Instead, Gideon gently encouraged Tessa to finish her ice cream. Ronan interpreted silence as weakness. His confidence grew louder. Finally he invited Gideon into the demonstration ring, claiming that anyone unwilling to defend his pride had already accepted defeat. The crowd turned toward the quiet father. Children stopped playing. Parents whispered. Even Vanessa appeared uncomfortable. Gideon slowly looked at Tessa. She wasn't watching Ronan. She was watching her father. In that moment he realized she wasn't learning how to win a fight. She was learning how a man responds when his character is questioned. Gideon calmly stepped inside the ring, not to satisfy his pride, but to end the humiliation peacefully. Before anything began, he respectfully reminded everyone that martial arts should build discipline rather than arrogance. Ronan smiled confidently. He assumed the older father had no training whatsoever. The demonstration started. Within seconds Ronan launched a fast combination designed to overwhelm an inexperienced opponent. But Gideon moved with remarkable calm. Every step was controlled. Every movement economical. Instead of attacking wildly, he simply avoided each strike with quiet precision. Years of elite military training had taught him something tournament medals never could. The best fight is usually the one requiring the least violence. The audience gradually realized something extraordinary. The ordinary father wasn't surviving by luck. He was choosing restraint. After another aggressive rush, Gideon gently redirected Ronan's momentum using simple defensive techniques before safely controlling him on the mat without causing injury. The entire exchange lasted less than 20 seconds. Complete silence covered the festival. Nobody cheered. Nobody laughed. They simply stared. Ronan remained stunned. For the first time in years someone had defeated him without anger, insults, or celebration. When Gideon released him, he immediately offered his hand and helped him stand. Only then did someone recognize Gideon's military tattoo. Questions spread rapidly through the crowd. Eventually another veteran attending the festival quietly explained that Gideon had once served as a Navy SEAL and had received commendations for rescuing fellow teammates during dangerous overseas operations. Suddenly everything made sense. Real strength had never needed an audience. Later that afternoon, while children continued enjoying games nearby, Ronan approached Gideon privately. Gone was the arrogance that had filled the demonstration ring. He admitted that years of praise had slowly convinced him he always needed to appear superior. Winning had become more important than humility. Gideon listened without judgment. He explained that combat had taught him a painful lesson. The strongest people rarely enjoy fighting because they understand its consequences better than anyone else. Those words stayed with Ronan. Instead of allowing embarrassment to become resentment, he chose growth. During the following weeks, Ronan transformed the culture inside his academy. Students no longer trained merely to defeat opponents. They learned conflict resolution, discipline, community service, and emotional control alongside physical techniques. Parents noticed remarkable changes in their children. Confidence replaced bullying. Respect replaced ego. Meanwhile, Gideon's own life quietly moved forward. He continued coaching Tessa's soccer team, repairing neighbors' fences on weekends, and volunteering at the local veteran support center. Fame never interested him. Peace did. One afternoon Tessa returned home carrying a school essay. Her assignment described the strongest person she knew. Gideon expected her to mention famous athletes or superheroes. Instead, she wrote about her father. She explained that strength wasn't measured by how hard someone could hit. It was measured by how gently someone could protect others even when they had every reason to fight back. Reading those words brought tears to Gideon's eyes. Years spent wondering whether he had failed as a husband disappeared beneath one simple realization. He had succeeded where it mattered most. He had become the example his daughter deserved. Several months later the community organized another charity festival. This time Ronan personally invited Gideon onto the stage. Not for another challenge. For gratitude. Together they demonstrated conflict de-escalation techniques instead of combat. They encouraged young people to avoid unnecessary violence, respect one another, and remember that courage begins with self-control. The audience applauded louder than they had during any martial arts performance. Because people weren't witnessing two men competing. They were witnessing two men choosing wisdom over pride. Even Vanessa quietly watched from the crowd with tears in her eyes. She realized that maturity wasn't found in exciting promises or loud confidence. It was found in steady character displayed every single day. Life continued changing in unexpected ways. Gideon eventually became a mentor for struggling veterans transitioning into civilian life. Many arrived carrying invisible emotional wounds far deeper than physical scars. Instead of pretending recovery happened quickly, Gideon reminded them that asking for help required greater courage than pretending everything was fine. His quiet leadership inspired countless families. One veteran later admitted that Gideon's guidance had saved his marriage. Another said it gave him hope after years of despair. None of those victories appeared on television. Yet each one mattered more than any medal ever awarded. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, leave a heartfelt comment below, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire for more emotional stories about courage, family, and hope. Special request: before this story ends, please comment "Real strength needs no audience" if you believe true courage is shown through humility, self-control, and kindness. As the bright afternoon slowly turned toward evening, Gideon and Tessa walked home beneath the warm glow of the setting sun. She slipped her small hand into his, smiling with the quiet certainty that her father was her greatest hero, not because he had once been a Navy SEAL, not because he had defeated another man in seconds, but because he had shown her that the strongest people never let pride control their actions. In the end, the greatest victory wasn't won inside a demonstration ring. It was won inside the human heart, where forgiveness defeated bitterness, humility overcame arrogance, and one father's quiet example became a lesson that would guide his daughter for the rest of her life.